Welcome to Motivational Mondays. This is Fred Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And before we start, because I'm not going to tell you the title yet, because it kind of evolved into the title, make sure to like and subscribe so that you can get future content like this. Now, the more you support this channel, the more can be disseminated to the world and to add benefit to everybody and add value. So this is the way I started this presentation, and this is the way I began it. I was talking about like holding ourselves to a new standard, okay? Holding ourselves, not somebody else, but holding yourself to a new standard. And then I said, but you can't really hold yourself to a new standard until you kind of have a relative, right? Everything is related to something. Any definition that we have in the dictionary is related to something else. Nothing stands on its own. Everything is in contrast or relationship to something else. And so I said to myself, if I'm holding myself to a new standard, what was the previous standard that I didn't hold myself to, that now I'm making a new standard? And then I got into saying, well, if that's the case, then I've got to go back to kind of assess, making an assessment of who I am, okay, before I set up that new standard. And then I could set up the new standard. And then I have the past, I have the present, and then I have some kind of direction for the future. And then I said, so what should I call this? So I put this together as putting it all together. And hear me out here, okay? Many times in life, we are faced in a condition where we're forced by an outside source, whatever it is. We bring a new child into the world, or, things at work get a little bit more competitive and we have to up our game. Any given time when we have an outside stimulus that is then incumbent upon us to then add value to ourselves is very powerful. However, if you don't take stock, okay, of where you were in the past and who you are now, you kind of can't move forward without having a vision that what you could be tomorrow. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Now, many times, okay, when we do stuff in life that is qualitative versus quantitative, it's hard to measure. Meaning to say, if my goal is to go running 4 times, 5 times a week, right? I could easily take that and kind of quantify it. Did I go or did I not go? Check or no check? How many times a month did I go running? Okay. However, if I want to work on myself, okay, of not getting angry or working on, my temperament, okay, it's a little bit harder to quantify. Okay, you can qualify it. Well, what does exactly getting angry mean? Does it mean that I hit like a level 10 or a level 3 or a level 5, right? So at any given time, it's much harder to work on something that is qualitative versus something that is quantitative because of the difficulty in assessing the amount that we're looking to work on. Now, that's not the entire point of this presentation. The point of this presentation is putting it all together. So when we do want to set up new goals or new standards that we're holding ourselves to, whatever that is for you, okay, now you can only do so by reflecting on the past and seeing where you were and then taking stock at the same time, at the same year, in the following year. A friend of mine always used to take, and was very conscious because he had diabetes, and he was also very conscious not just about his sugar level but also his weight, and he would be told to take his weight at the exact same moment week to week so that he could assess exactly where he was truly holding. Because if he's taking his weight or taking his sugar at times during the day that is just not in his regular form, it could be just because he had a big meal, it could be just because he had a bar of chocolate, that it then, puts him out of scheme, right? However, if you do it at the same given time every single week, okay, you're at least following a certain regimen. And I think that follows true to us as well. Now, we're in a holiday season kind of place right now, going into spring in the northern hemisphere, going into winter in the southern hemisphere, and it's a transitional time where you can really reflect where you were a year ago or 2 years ago, or even 5 years ago. Okay, I wouldn't go further than that because I don't think it's relevant, but then you can assess which way you want to go moving forward. And this is really just a very important lesson, just to keep on doing it, keep on doing it, and keep on doing it. Put in your calendar in about a year from now that you need to assess year to year where you were last year and where you are today and what you want to accomplish for next year. And that is really what makes a difference in everybody's life. Now, we kind of seem to over appreciate how much we could accomplish in a year and underappreciate how much we can accomplish in 5 years or 10 years. Because we give ourselves, oh, we want to get this done and this done and this done in a year. And we kind of like have such big, lofty goals, but then we lose the longer track, the longer focus and the longer goal because we're so short-sighted and we're not able to really understand. We get kind of like bogged down in the short vision and don't see the long vision and see how that affects us in the longer vision. We have to live a life that is not just focused about today or a year from now, but how it's going to affect us in 5 years from now. And that is how you separate the leaders from the people that keep on following other people and don't put themselves together. I think that's a very important lesson for us in this time period, to really take stock of ourselves, to reassess ourselves, and to understand where you've been, where you are, and where you hope to go. Thank you for joining me today.